What's going on, everybody? Blake Albertson here with B&B Lawn Care. Today, we have an awesome podcast. I wanted to do it in this format because it is a very, very long topic, and I also wanted you guys to be able to listen to this while you're out working, while you're out hustling, trying to make a little bit of money. I know it's a busy time of year, so I hope you enjoy today's show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the B&B Lawn Care Podcast with Blake Albertson. If you enjoyed today's show, leave us a review on iTunes. Follow us on YouTube at B&B Lawn Care and on Instagram at BB Lawn Care KC. Thank you guys so much for listening and enjoy today's show. All right. I'm going to get right into it today. This is the golden nuggets of this lawn and landscape business. Something that it's taken me a while to learn. It's taken me a longer time to implement into my business. It's the cream of the crop, dude. It's what the big landscape companies do, the big lawn care companies do. And I almost felt like, so I wanted to start it out this way, tell you a little bit about my story and just being the mowing guy, because it's bigger than that. When you get stuck into thinking that you're just the mowing guy, I only mow, the other landscape companies can take care of this stuff. When I started saying, why don't I do everything on these properties? And so the math is, if let's say we mow, I think it's like 30 to 33 times a year, typically on a lawn from spring to fall, including, skipping the lawn a couple times, in July and August and things like that. But 30 times $35 or $40 or whatever, it's like between $1,000 and $1,500 for mowing that property a year. Okay. And that's it. So, everybody's like, oh, how many lawns do you mow? And everybody's like, oh, we just need to add more lawns. And it's not. Like, you could do 150 lawns and just be hustling around all the time, just trying to add more lawns at $1,000 a year. Or you could focus on like 60 or 70 lawns and try to get that account to be worth $5,000 a year. How in the world do you do that? Well, so let's take Susie, okay? The typical Miss Jones, whoever you want to call it. The typical lawn client. Let's say we charge her, it doesn't matter, $1,000 a year. Let's just focus on that. Let's say we get $1,000 from Susie a year, but she likes nice landscaping. She runs her sprinkler system. She likes whatever, okay? And you have a good relationship with Susie. Why would you focus time and energy on collecting more Susies when you haven't even I don't want to use the terminology like wring out the towel totally, but what I mean is, one, you're not totally servicing Susie's property correctly. You're letting other companies come in and service Susie, and maybe she's not getting the service that you would provide her. So it's a deal for both of you. But why don't you walk around the property with Susie and ask her, like if you're just talking with Susie, okay, she comes out, hey, here's your check or whatever, and your guys are talking about the weekend, or I think I'm really good at coming up with commonalities between me and somebody else. I can literally almost do it instantly. Maybe it takes me, 10 seconds or 20 seconds, but I take in everything I've ever talked with her about, everything I know about her. Maybe it's a car she's driving. Maybe it's asked how her weekend was. She did something that I've done, but building a commonality and expanding that relationship. And once you do that, now you're invested in Susie. She's invested in you. She trusts you. She likes you. It's going to be so much easier to sell her, in air quotes, more services. So you have a good relationship with Susie. Hey, Susie, this mulch is kind of looking like there's some bare spots. It's a little bit faded. The color's out of it. Do you mind if I write you up a quote on remulching this stuff? I'll give you a good deal. But there's also a ton of weeds in the back, down by the back patio. can I just add on the quote? I'm going to be fair with you. I'll add that to the quote. And then also, we have a weed preventer that we can put down. And I won't charge you much for it. I'll just add that on there. Yeah. And, oh, well, do you guys also trim shrubs? Yes, Susie. Of course we trim shrubs. We'll trim all the shrubs, get all that stuff cleaned out, pull the weeds, put some weed preventer down, and then we're going to throw the fresh mulch on top of it. And what you just did, let's go to the numbers of that. What you just did was you took that $1,000 account, Susie's account, where you were going to get $1,000 for the whole year. You probably just added, I don't know, depending on Susie's landscaping, $1,000 to $1,500 more, or $2,000 more, or however much, just in walking around having a conversation with her about things she needed. And so now that account's now worth $2,500 to you a year. You just more than doubled your revenue from Susie's one account. Instead, you would have had to go get 1.5 more lawns and service them for the rest of the year. Okay? And so another thing that's going to happen when you service your clients instead of just focusing on one part of the business, now in the fall, we're going to aerate and overseed Susie's lawn. We're going to blow out her sprinklers, and we're also going to clean up all the leaves off the property. That alone, you just added, $1,000 more. So now her account's worth $3,500, more than triple what it would have brought in the whole year in just a couple little simple services. And what's going to happen most likely is, you do that for a couple years, and then Susie's going to say, hey, we've been thinking, we've been saving money. We really want to add a patio in the back. We want to add a waterfall. We want to add some concrete edging. We want to add a cobblestone edging around the property. We want to add a fireplace, a fire pit, whatever it is. Here's what happens. So here's what I do. So somebody calls, hey, do you do concrete edging? No, but I have a lot of buddies that do. What are you looking for? Well, we're wanting to add rock. This is a situation that happened last year. We wanted to add rock, but we want concrete edging. Okay, no problem. Hey, I've got a buddy that does concrete edging. I'll have him come over, talk you through it, give you a quote. If you okay that, I'll shoot you a quote for rock, and we'll also trim up the shrubs and everything. And then you just, I'll come in, do all the work, trim the shrubs, put the new rock in. My buddy's going to come in and lay a fresh concrete edge, and I'll rake all the rock and make it look perfect right against the edge. No problem. Hey, I'll coordinate this free of charge. I'll coordinate with my buddy that does the concrete edging, and you don't have to worry about it. You just take the 2 quotes. If everything's cool, no more work on your end. And so the thing is a lot of people are like, oh, they're just going to go with one company that can do it all. Yeah, but you have the relationship. You are bringing the contractor in, and you're not letting them just take the reins. That's what I always did, is I always let other companies come in and take the reins. And what happens is, like the big local companies around here, what would happen is I can't do one part, like one of the services that they're wanting. Okay, let's call it concrete edging, okay, because I have no clue what I'm doing. What would typically happen is I'd say, no, I don't do concrete edging, so I lose the whole job. Where what I do now is I almost become like the contractor, and then I'm subbing out the work in a way where I will put in the work to coordinate with these guys so the customer doesn't have to do any more work. It's no different than if she hired one company to do it all or both of us, because I am taking the reins and I'm saying, hey, this is my job. This is my account. I will bring in a trusted guy that's not going to take my work, and I will do the rock. Listen, you're taking the reins, dude. Take the reins. They called me. I don't do that, but I'm going to take care of it. I'll have him come out and quote it. You don't have to do anything. That's it. I'll do the rock. Okay? So I call my buddy. Hey, I'm doing a rock job. I need you to come do the concrete edging. Instead of just saying, hey, I have this huge job. It's worth $5,000. Here you go. I say, hey, I want my piece of that pie, and I'm bringing you in, and you're doing the concrete edging. Everybody wins. So don't be just throwing away money, dude. And that's what I was doing. I was like, I don't do part of that, so here you go. And then what happens, once a new company comes in, now they're like, Susie, I'll blow out. You just do the package deal with our fertilizing, our mowing. We'll blow out the sprinklers. And Blake, little tiny Blake, B&B Lawn Care, gets shoved out, and I lose that account. And so, yeah, if you build a great relationship with Susie, she's not going to do that. But some people are just numbers oriented. They just want the best deal, the cheapest price. I understand it. And the thing is these bigger companies understand what the psychology I just gave you. And they're going to come in and they're going to start giving package deals, baby. It's $90 for us to fertilize. But if you do, like, let's say I was charging $40. They'll come in and say, hey, we're going to charge you $34 a week to mow, and we're going to give you $30 off per application for fertilizing if you do our group package. And then they're going to say, add mulch for just this price. And because they get the whole package, they're going to be able to discount these services, bumping you out. Like, sometimes it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be just a better deal, and she's going to be like, she's just going to give in. Okay, all right, we'll let the big company come in. So this is like a tactic. One, the thought processes behind always be upselling. That's why, like, okay, why don't you give your email to a big company, okay? Give your email to Old Navy. Give your email even to a local, like a big fertilizing company, or a big lawn care company. Like, go get a quote for pest control or something and watch what they do. It's just business. Every industry does it, whether that's Target, Walmart, Old Navy, Bed Bath & Beyond. This is all the same, even in the lawn care industry, okay? So I want a quote for fertilizing. I get on a fertilizing program. There's 6 applications a year for whatever price. But every week or month, I'm going to get an email. It's aeration time, overseeding. Here's your instant bid. Just give us the okay. We're going to come out and do it, whatever. And it's just, they make it that easy, and it's just an upsell. But you're literally doubling and tripling what that account is worth to your company. And so don't just give in. And sometimes I just do the unpaid, frustrating work of like coordinating certain things like fertilizing or, almost subcontracting it out for, even if it's free, even if I don't up the price at all, just for the fact of once another company gets in there, this is just reality. Once another company gets into that, they can start giving deals and upselling, and you get shoved out of the account. I've seen it happen a million times. It's life, it's business, and even this is what happened when I was younger. This happened was I didn't do something. I think it was rock, like before I started doing rock, and a company came in and did the rock job, and then I made like it rained and I couldn't get to the customer. Something happened like that, like maybe a flat tire. I don't really remember what it was. It was back in the day when my business was smaller and it was kind of just me. And I got shoved out of the account basically because he's like, who's that other lawn care company that came in and did the rock? They also mow. They called them to mow, and now I was out. And so it's kind of the philosophy now is the more people that you have in there being able to talk to Susie, maybe they're just better salesmen than you are. So this is the tactic. And listen, I don't do all the services. You might not do all the services, but the reality of this was don't just focus on mowing. Do you know some of the big companies, like everybody's like, there's no money in mowing. I'm not going to mow. I'm just going to fertilize. Or I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do landscaping. That's all fine. And listen, it's working out for people. But the reality is the reason a lot of big companies continue to mow is because, A, it keeps money coming in even in slow times, even in economic times. I don't think, like the thing is a lot of people think, and I forget who told me this, a very successful company, said, you think of it as a luxury, but like you don't think of like replacing your air conditioner, like the people that service that, to be a luxury. Like it is, in the US, but everybody has air conditioning here. Like I'm saying, like that is a have to be done thing. And some people see that as lawn care and mowing. Some people just don't want to mow. They don't want to get out there, whatever. It's just something that has to be done. And so once that kind of, listen, I have a quote, and I want to get them painted here in my office, but I have it written up here on my board. I know you can't see it, but this is from Greg Wittstock, the pond guy. Told me this years ago. Don't associate your value of $1 with someone else's value of $1. So when I was the mowing guy, I just thought, I'm mowing guy. I'm just thankful that they're paying me $40. But then freaking 2 weeks later, they're putting in a $30,000 landscaping. I didn't get a penny of that because they asked, do you do the rock? No, I don't do the rock. Do you do this? No, I don't do this. So you don't get a piece of it. You don't get a piece of the pie. But if you say, hey, I don't do the concrete edging, I'll bring somebody in, but I do the rock, so let me give you the quote on the rock. This is business, baby, business. So I don't really remember where I was going with that tangent, but that's the facts. That's the truth. And the truth is you can triple, quadruple, 5x the amount of money that one account is bringing in with maybe like a couple days more of work, which is landscaping, the maintenance side. Oh, I was going with the mowing. Not only does it keep money coming in, but you have these accounts already, and you're going to be the first person they ask about the landscaping, the mulching, the shrub trimming, the rock, even like patios and stuff. People are like, hey, do you do it? I'm like, no. They're like, I just want to make sure if you did hardscaping, you'd be the first person we'd let bid it out. And so your foot's in the door already with a lot of these accounts. And that's why people mow, man. And I don't know, man. So that's it. That's what I wanted to get across. A little bit longer of, like, if this is a video, so I want to do it so you can listen to it while you're working, and just a little bit of psychology in there. And listen, building relationships with customers, it's not like if you let somebody else come in and do a rock job that you're not going to be able to mow there anymore. But I'm just telling you the philosophy, like the people that are working the sales and marketing for these larger companies, that's the thought process. They're like, how do we get into this account? Like every single person that calls in for fertilizing, well, they want to do everything, man, because they have all these divisions. They have the mowing crews, they have the landscape maintenance crews, they have the fertilizing crews, the irrigation crews, the tree trimming crews, the fertilizing. You know what I mean? Like when the salespeople's responsibility is when somebody calls for fertilizing, let's take care of them, and then let's start upselling because we have all these other services that bring us in money, and we know that we don't want just the account to be worth $700 a year. We want it to be worth $5,000 a year. So think about it. The game isn't just how, like the first question forever, even to this day, that people ask, how many yards do you mow? That is not the biggest factor in all of this. It's not. Let's take 150 times $1,000, $150,000. I shouldn't have done that on camera because I'm going to get laughed at of why I just did that math. But let's take 70 times 5,000 is $350,000. sorry, 2 times more money with half the accounts. 2 times more money, half the amount of people that you have to communicate with, half the amount of people by just servicing their properties. Okay? And listen, it's not all going to be $5,000. It's not all going to be $1,000. I'm just talking about the typical, in Kansas City, the typical account, $1,000 for mowing, you can get it to $5,000 a year. And listen, every year they're not going to need rock, or every year, but listen, if you want me to power wash the driveway, I can make it happen, okay? Or whatever. Just finding ways to service just get into pest control, get into fertilizing, get into blowing out the sprinklers, adjusting the sprinklers. Like, there's a million things. Get into lighting. Maybe this year they want rock, next year they want landscape lighting, or whatever. And so that's the key. That's the key, because look, you would literally have to do 350. You would have to service 350 yards. 350 yards to get the same amount of money of just servicing 70 people and making $5,000 off of them a year. And you're going to have more trucks, more employees, more mowers, more trailers, more trimmers, more blowers, more string, more oil. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the key. That's the key. And so I hope that helps. I hope that made sense. So that's the numbers. You'd have to service 350 weekly mowing accounts at $1,000 a year to equal taking care of 70 clients, everything, at around $5,000 a year. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty eye-opening. And that's 350 people every week. Where, like, some of these things are a couple day jobs, and you're increasing your revenue for the rest of the year. So that's it. And I didn't even get into snow plowing because I'm not. First off, our weather is weird here in Kansas City. I think I personally went out. I know we had a snowstorm when the babies were in the hospital, so I did not work that one. I subcontracted out, and I maybe went out once or twice last winter, the 2019 to 2020 winter, which is insanity. So I don't even add snow into my goals, into my projections, my budget. Snow isn't a part of that. It's all just extra if it happens. Probably 6 years ago, we used to have terrible winters, terrible for some people, great for people that do snow removal, but like a ton of snow. And now we don't get anything, dude. So I can't account for it as a part of my business because it's so, like, people in Michigan, like, they know they're getting snow, or wherever, like Canada or something. They know they're getting snow. It's like grass. Like, next spring, I know for a fact the grass will grow. Hopefully. I mean, with everything going on, you never know. But it's set in stone, and you can budget off of it, where snow is just not a thing here. So I didn't talk about snow, and I know snow's huge for a lot of people. Snow plowing's huge for a lot of people. So that all goes into it. So maybe if you were just mowing and you live in a very snowy area, heck, you could probably triple the income of a property. Well, maybe not residential, but commercial at least, with snow plowing. And so there's so many services in this industry, dude. You can do so many things, and I'm not saying you have to do everything. I'm not even saying this is the way of the world. I'm just saying this is what the big companies are doing. This is the thought process. And maybe this can help you. If you just want to focus on mowing and you don't want to do anything else, I get that too. It's my baby, dude. I love mowing. I can't get away from it. And that's fine too, dude. That's fine too. You can be successful in any way. Sometimes spreading yourself out too thin isn't good either. And I definitely don't want that to be seen in this either. It's just the fact of you need to take care of your customers. You need to be more serviceable, as Brian Ring says. Be more serviceable to your customers. Take care of them. You want them to ask you the questions. You want them to say, hey, who would I call for to get pest control? Who would I call to get fertilizing? Who would I call? You want to be that guy. You are the 411, as they say, for that customer. Okay, so that's it, guys. Short little podcast here, a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at B&B Lawn Care. Follow me on Instagram at BB Lawn Care KC, TikTok at BB Lawn Care KC. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, B&B Lawn Care. That is it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time. Peace.